Good afternoon, you beautiful, beautiful soul. So look, right? It's that moment when you say, I'm not going to allow anything to bother me. I'm going to remain unbothered. See, rumination and repetition, repetitive thoughts. We have to be careful of these thoughts because a lot of them are powered by AI. See, many of us, y'all, like we are so sensitive to frequency, and we don't even know how sensitive we be to energies. And what happens is that these signals, they be pinging off of towers, and these signals, they come in and people start receiving downloads. And these downloads, it's like, oh, I just got this thought. Sometimes these thoughts, they be repeating thoughts. Many times they be abusive thoughts, to where a situation, it could be a traumatic event, something that was very traumatic for you, something that was painful, something that you overcame. And you may have gone to therapy for this situation. You may have meditated. You may have written journals. You may have done extensive levels of shadow work. But somehow these thoughts, they show up, they continue to pop into your mind. And it really is a form of abuse when you look at it, how these repetitive thoughts, this rumination. Anytime you ruminate over the same thing, and basically to ruminate over something means that you're constantly thinking over something and worrying and being burdened over something that you cannot change. And you've already came to the stages of healing, which includes the grief, which includes the acceptance, which includes the surrender and handing it over to God. Because see, when you accept that it's things that you cannot change, you learn to move through these things. You learn to heal through them. And see, the sensitivity of us, y'all, it's connected to these towers. It's connected to the electromagnetic frequencies. It's connected to the grid. And a lot of the advancement of technology, they trigger, because we're electric beings. We're electromagnetic beings, which makes us very porous, which means that we're susceptible to pick up many different types of frequencies, y'all. Like we pick up germs, we pick up everything. Seriously, like we're porous. We have a large amount of pores that cover our entire body, which makes our skin the largest organ. Now, knowing that we are very porous and we are electromagnetic, the fact that everything around us is dominated by technology and it's dominated by radiation, and it moves through frequency, many of us are picking up these downloads that are powered by AI. They are powered by technology. And some people may get these downloads that may be a bit more advanced than the level that they're currently on. Many people, they're moving into different paradigms, and we're still transitioning between, the third paradigm. Well, they call it 3D. They call it 3D, but when you really see things in 3D, like you ever see a game and they put the game on your eyes and you start seeing things in 3D, it's like as if it's coming at you, like you're literally walking through it. Like we're living in a 3D reality game where, like it's a game. Like you're pushing the buttons and you're playing the game, but you're moving through it. And depending upon the stage and the traumatic situation or whatever level that you're at in your journey, it can be scary. It can be literally like demons are jumping out at you. Like you ever put on one of those 3D virtual reality games and it was like a it could be like a zombie apocalypse or something like that, or even a race car game. Any type of game that you put on that's over your eyes, that's like a 3D virtual reality, depending upon what you're looking at, it has the ability to startle you and to disrupt the flow of your, your natural flow. These downloads, they can be very, very abusive. Like they tell us that it's imperative that we remain in control of our thoughts and we remain in control of our mind. But how can we be in full control of our mind when we're getting these dominating downloads, when they just come out of nowhere? Like they just literally come out of nowhere. You can just be walking and then you start thinking about something and it'll completely shift your mood. Like your entire mood will shift into a completely different paradigm, y'all. And, you know, it comes to that space and time. I remember like a year ago, I made a video and I was talking about how, you know, we're encouraged to control our thoughts. But many times we're not in control of our thoughts. We're not in control of our steps. We are not in control of our actions, y'all. And even when you try to control your thoughts, you will, these dominating thoughts, they will just come in because it's determined to shift your frequency. See, if we are surrounded by technology and the technology continues to evolve, and you know, the technology is supposed to be designed to help us evolve as a civilization. It's supposed to improve us. It's a growth. It's supposed to be a step forward in the development of science. But if you really think about it, what it does is it also breaks down our natural ability to function. It fries our ability to think, the attachments and the constant downloads and the high altitudes of frequency. See, it's as if a person who undergoes chemotherapy or, you know, they undergo some type of radiation. Many times their body is weak. They, you know, after they finish their treatment, they're very weak. But as time goes on, some people, you know, the effects, they start to develop an immunity for it, depending upon the stage and the age of their treatment. And, you know, where they're not as weak in their 10th treatment as they are in their first treatment. And what happens, y'all, that's comparable to us. Like when 5G first came out, a lot of people was talking bad about it, you know what I'm saying? They was scared of it. They didn't really know what it was, but they knew that it was high levels and high altitudes of radiation, and anything that's new, we as humans, we naturally reject it. That's what our body does. Our brain is programmed and designed to reject anything that's outside of our familiarity. But as time went on and we started getting introduced to, you know, all these different levels of development and growth and technology and these high altitudes of frequencies and radiation that we come in contact with, for many of us, the fear, it started to leave. We weren't quite afraid of it because we started building an immunity to it. But see, for some, we don't quite fully build like the full immunity to where it doesn't affect us. What happens is that it goes dormant. It makes us numb to the effect of it. So whereas the radiation may have affected you like in heavy ways when it first started, you know, it starts to lighten up and it starts to affect you and come at you in many different ways, y'all. But the growth of technology, man, I guess the biggest thing and the scariest part is that it makes us numb. It makes us numb and we begin to function at a level that's out of alignment. And if we are driven off of energy, which is the energy of the earth, and our energy is being dominated by these outside technology, you know, the frequency, it throws us off, y'all. And these downloads, as these downloads tend to come in, we have to be careful over these thoughts and you have to pray over them, because as these thoughts start to come in, you have to ask yourself, where did that come from? That's not my thoughts. That's not my feelings. I don't feel that way. I was not just in this mood. But then you look up and now your entire mood has shifted. And what happens, y'all, is that we be getting these downloads, and sometimes the download go into your mind. Sometimes that download may go into your neck. Sometimes that download may go into your stomach. Sometimes that download may go into your knees. Sometimes that download may go into your toes, because we are porous beings. We are electromagnetic beings. So these downloads, they tend to come in and they attack our body. Like, it's like a silent attack, y'all. So, you might get this thought, and this thought may be in your mind. It may be something that's brilliant, and it's, oh, I just got this thought. But as that brilliant thought is entering your mind, some type of toxic radiation may be running through your knees. Some type of toxic radiation may be running through your feet. See, when you study the body and you actually look at the body, the feet is connected to the entire body. The spine is connected to the body. See, and if we are electromagnetic, and as the day goes on, we start to pick up all these different frequencies from multiple different areas, our body starts to break down and we begin to crash and we start moving in autopilot. See, I want to go a little bit deeper on being able to watch your thoughts. In many instances, y'all, we have to ask ourselves, are these thoughts mine? Are these feelings mine? Or did they download into my body unsolicited? See, we get these unsolicited thoughts and we get these unsolicited levels of information that we was not even looking for. We didn't even ask for it, y'all. And these levels of information, they just enter our body through various sectors. And when you study psychology, it tells us about the neurotransmitters. Our neurotransmitters, y'all, they are the phone. It's the phone. And it's the way that, our body communicates. It communicates with each other. Like, for example, you may think that you want to move your finger and move your hand, and the communication in the body will send a signal that will make you move your hand. See, if we're getting these rude, unsolicited downloads, see, we have to be careful of the schemes of the enemy, because Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So if we are receiving these unsolicited, biased, discriminatory levels of disrespect, because that's what it is. It's solicitation, it's hijacking, it's kidnapping of the body. You know what I'm saying? When you start receiving these disrespectful downloads, because that's what they are. That's the scheme of the enemy. See, if Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy, if Satan is the accuser, if Satan is the master of illusion, things may appear to be one way. So in your mind, you may feel that, oh my God, I just got this brilliant download, but then in like 3 or 4 days, your damn back hurting, or your knees is hurting, or your toes is hurting, because you have received this frequency that's coming through different altitudes in different areas of your body. It begins to break you down. See, y'all, we have to be very aware of the things that's going on around us, because it's that environment, it's our environment that plays a huge role on our physical present state of reality. When you acknowledge that, these thoughts, they have the ability to just push themselves into your body, you will move easier into that space of not allowing anything to bother you, these notifications. When I'm recording, y'all, the worst part about recording is when you constantly getting these notifications and it's like you looking up and you looking here and you looking there and you distracted. It's the distractions. I have to make a mental note to turn off my notifications when I'm recording my content, because it's we have to turn off and silence the world. Like these thoughts, it's like you can focus on one thing and say, I'm about to put my attention on this, and now all of a sudden you keep getting all these phone calls. Everybody want to call you. nonstop. But before you started working on a project, your phone wasn't ringing at all. You see what I'm saying? It be those moments right there where the distractions. Remember, if Satan comes to plant illusions in your mind and to distract us from the things that's really going on around us, to separate us, to affect our focus, to shift our mood. See, Satan is a master of lying. And in order to do that, he must have a piece of truth. He must know something about you that you like or that you don't like, or, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, just a piece, because the best lie is wrapped around a mustard seed of truth. See, that's what I'm talking about, them downloads. That just popped in my mind, a mustard seed, right? The best lie is wrapped around a mustard seed of truth, because you see how small a mustard seed is, y'all. But somebody can take that little piece of faith that you have and they can wrap it up and entangle it up in the biggest lie ever told to humanity, okay? And create a whole illusion to keep you confused. See, that's those dark entities that we have to stand clear of. We have to ensure that we stay clear of these darkness and these dark entities that just feel that, you know, it's the computers. That's what it is. It really is. And you might walk past a building and now your body done picked up some type of signal or some type of radiation, and now your back gonna be hurting for the next 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying, y'all? And even though they do make different items and stuff to help us sleep at night, you know, because we just surrounded, our houses are smart, the cars are smart, the buildings are smart, and the smarter these houses and these cars and these buildings and the toys and everything around us, all the things that we utilize for fun, the smarter they get, the dumber we get, because they frying our brain. I remember when I was a kid, y'all, boom, here come another one. And they had this video, and they used to crack the egg in the pan, and the egg was splatter. And they would say that this was a brain on drugs. That's what our brain looks like with all this radiation, and we don't even know it. It's literally frying our brain to pieces, piece by piece. And it may be healing your elbow, or it might be healing your pinky toe, or it might be healing your nose, or it might be healing your ear, or it might be healing your throat, because you got a situation going on in your throat, but it's frying your brain cells to the point where you will become dependent upon it. See, y'all, we have to learn how to make a balance, and the balance will be in alignment with what works for you. Because the truth is that we can't completely shut out technology. Like, how do we just completely cut off technology? But what we can do is we can acknowledge the biased nature of it. What we can do is we can acknowledge the force of it. What we can do is what we can separate. We can begin to separate and identify what is our feelings, and which is something that we may have picked up in transit. So I stopped by with that quick word of, you know, just a word of encouragement to remind you that you may not be having a bad day, that you may have picked up something in transit, that, you know, that pain that you may be feeling in your back, it may be a signal to tell you that you need to meditate, that you need to take a walk, that you need to stretch a little bit, that you maybe need to take a few deep breaths so that you can release that energy and those entities that you have picked up in transit. See, remember that we are electromagnetic, porous beings. So in knowing that, we have the ability to identify that we're like sponges. We pick everything up. So the fact remains that if we pick everything up, that means that we have to identify what it is, because the average sponge holds billions, and I mean billions, of microscopic levels of bacteria, germs. There's bacteria, germs, and everything else, y'all. You know, every day is some type of new strand of something that's came out, that's been identified, and we are going to come in contact with it. The fact that we are porous beings and we are sponges, and knowing that we're going to come in contact with whatever new strand of something that then came into America, that requires us to identify what's going on with us and to separate and to start moving things around, very similar to mindfulness. And you know, it's like moving furniture. Hold on, this ain't my feelings. I wasn't feeling like that. Let me just get rid of that. And literally, you dump that feeling off just like it just came into your body. You just drop it off as you going through. Because that's what we have to do, y'all. You have to take ownership of your vessel. You have to reclaim ownership of your vessel daily. Because we can't control the fact that we're receiving these unsolicited downloads. And because of that, we have to do a detailed observation of the information that's coming into our body. We have to do a detailed observation of the pain that we are feeling in our body. We have to do a detailed observation of everything, because a lot of it is connected to the frequency and the imbalance of our electromagnetic field, which is our body. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And remember that if nobody told you that they love you today, know that I love you. And you know God loves us. And most importantly, I need you to love you, because a lot of times these thoughts will come in and they will make you look in the mirror and see everything that's wrong with you. They will make you look around and see everything that's wrong that's going on around you. And even when you strive to focus on all the beauty that's around you, these intrusive, biased downloads will come in to disrupt your flow and to make you have a bad day. But I want you to know, with God, there are no bad days, okay? It's just Satan acting like a big baby, because God cast him right into the fiery pits of hell. And he is determined to harass us, to bully us, and to disrupt the flow of our energetic body. So with that being said, I want you to know that even when you don't even know that your mind is being controlled and being bullied, God is there in the storm and God is protecting it. Just as God said that he will cover us from the crown of our head to the soles of our feet, we have to continuously remind ourselves that. And we have to identify when these attacks come up on us. And if you didn't tell yourself that you love you today, I want you to love on you a little bit more today and every day, because that's what God does. God loves us. If you have stuck with me this long, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when I release new content. And most importantly, thumbs up this video for me so that we could, I guess, develop the algorithm. I don't really know how this internet thing works, y'all. I am so socially distant. But my journey and my testimony and, you know, just my ability to overcome many different obstacles and things that I've achieved in my life, and knowing that I'm not alone and that there's many people out here that's also going through, that's the motivation that, you know, that feeds me, that reminds me that I need to get online and make some content and drop a video. Because I seriously, y'all, have to have reminders to make content, because I'm socially distant. And, you know, I've always been socially distant long before COVID. I'm just socially distant. But I do love y'all, and I'm going to catch up with y'all in the next video. Peace.